short, but it cut short. Good evening, everyone. How are you? Don't worry
You
about
can
it.
see it? All right. I just want to make sure.
Good evening, everyone. Someone's already being difficult, and we're not even a minute into the...
Happy Sunday.
How's everyone doing? I see all the names. Anna, Rosa. How's everyone doing? Nikki, I saw you up there.
Laura.
Hope you guys had a good weekend. I know it's been, God, how many days since we did one of these? I think Tuesday was Creeper Gallery. I don't think we did one after that.
No, because we did everything for
because somebody tricked me, by the way. I had every intention of Friday. I was thinking we're gonna do one Friday or Thursday. We're gonna do it Thursday or Friday, somewhere like that. And then somebody Thursday night said to me, "You're not doing a live tonight, are you?" And I'm like, in my head, I'm going, "Well, we'll just do it tomorrow," because not realizing that we had to do the expo live at 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock, and
So
she knew that as well. So she Jedi mind tricked on me to not do it Thursday
because I'm so brilliant.
because she didn't feel like it. So
yeah, so I'm so brilliant.
That's the reason we.
He knows the mindset of me.
Thank you, Teresa.
Not.
We missed you guys as well. It was
Hi,
that one's fault
Teresa.
that we haven't done one sooner.
Total trick. Do you know?
And I even said to her on Friday, I'm like, "Now I know why you did that to me last night."
Did I ask you if you were going live?
You were like, you said you're not going live tonight, are you?
So he says.
Hello, Tina. How are you?
So
Kathy?
he says.
How are you? So, first of all, to start, to the people in this field, I was going to call you lame, but okay, you're lame. To the people in this field that create these memes and they're shared all over the place. I've done it a million times. Question of the day, I started doing it 10 years ago, 14, 15 years ago. Everybody under the sun would take the question of the day and use it as their own. Even when I put New Jersey Paranormal on it, they would crop it and post it as their own. So some particular group, that meme I posted about talking to the dead because there's less drama, or ghosts because there's less drama. All over. Well, I saw it on actually a celebrity's page, and I just copied the image and posted it. This other group is saying, "We created this. You cut off our logo. That was very rude of you." So I deleted it because I don't want any part of that crap. You created a meme, which whatever. I've created a million memes. Give me a break. So anyway, it is deleted. So you don't have to worry about us sharing your stuff because it's a joke. Anyway, that's enough. Got that off my chest. I literally saw that right before I came on. I'm getting message after message from this group, and it's just like, are you kidding me with this? We created a meme and we put our name on it. It's like, give me a break. I didn't crop anything of yours. That's the way I saw it.
That was the meme that you got off of one of the celebrities' page. So yeah,
whatever.
Yeah.
Go after them. Anyway, did you get my message? I do. Actually, I did, Christopher. I'm going to look into that. We've been really, really busy. Too busy, if there is such a thing. The expo is less than 3 months away now. So when we get to that point, it really is planning, booking flights, setting up everything for that, along with all the NJP stuff. And the NJP stuff is a lot. It's, all these events that we're doing, the ghost walk that we're doing. It's just constantly on my phone or on my laptop, sending out emails or going back and forth with people. And I enjoy it. I do, but it's been really, and now we just met with somebody yesterday or the day before, my days were all mixed up, where we're going to a client's house, private case, next, is that Tuesday?
It's Thursday.
Thursday, we're doing that. And I have no intention of getting involved with any more private cases this soon, probably not till the new year. And now this is a friend of ours who's a medium who we've asked for help before. So she asked us for help. So now we're gonna do that on Thursday. And then we have the college that we're gonna be investigating to let it out of the bag now. Not one of the ones that you would think that you probably have heard of year after year in New Jersey is being mentioned. This one's actually Berkeley University, Berkeley College in Woodland Park. Woodland Park.
Yep, they reached out to us.
So they reached out to us, said there was stuff going on there. They wanted us to. They were hearing noises in the office. Things were moving on their own. They were seeing shadows. So we toured it. We heard all of the background information, how it was once belonged to
the Immaculate Sisters.
Yeah, and actually have a cemetery on site of all of the sisters and nuns. Really, really beautiful. The middle of that college has a lot of religious statues and built into the rocks and everything. Beautiful. So we toured it. We heard all the claims. We heard all the stories. So now we set up a date for investigation, which is probably, I don't even know what day today is, but a week, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
This is during the week because we can't do anything on the weekends because we're so busy. Today was actually the day we actually made ourselves. Not that we made ourselves, but we were like, we're getting out today and we're doing something together and we're going to enjoy it.
And we had to, and we went where we didn't have a lot of phone reception either. So we had a lot of messages going up, ding, 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 when we got back in. But John did this too because he knows that I'm dealing with some stuff that it kicks off tomorrow, some heavy stuff that unfortunately I've got to deal with. And John was just getting my mind off of it and being very supportive. And it was a day that we 100% needed. And it energized me enough to deal with what I have to deal with coming up. So
we did have a good time.
We did.
Yeah, it's funny. I was literally just watching Hard Knocks, NFL Hard Knocks on HBO. And without the glasses, I do kind of look like Aaron Rodgers. If my hair was short, I have a ponytail now, but I kind of do a little bit. You're cuter. I don't have $50 million
You're
a year, but anyway. So the paranormal stuff.
Hey everybody! Anyone that's saying hi, we're saying hello.
Yeah, we're there's a bigger screen behind
us, and we're just like, the names are going by pretty quick.
Because Chris kept talking about how old she is and she can't see anymore, so somebody was very gracious to donate a bigger screen.
Well, they said we have something that could solve your problem because they said we keep seeing Chris like looking up and squinting at the screen or looking away, looking on her phone. So they took care of that problem so I can actually face you guys and not be looking to the side or looking like a granny with my head up like this all the time, like squinting, getting close to the screen.
So we had a good time last night. We were back at the mine 2 weeks in a row, believe it or not, and got to do a little investigating there, and had a lot of fun. More EVPs, more things going off that are not random. Just it was really, really cool to go there and without a lot of people and leading a group and everything, to get back in there and do some stuff. I'm getting wood from there, which I've been working on for a while. This guy, I'll mention his name, Jeff Fett. Brilliant creator, maker of spirit boxes. He makes his own custom tailored spirit boxes. He's brilliant at it, and they're not cheap. He's given them to some people on some shows, and I've been asking him for a while now, hey, could you make me a spirit box? Could you make me a spirit box? And he's like, yeah, this much. Yeah, that much. And it's like, I can't afford that. I don't reach out to him again for another 6 months. Hey, how much for that box? Yeah, I can't afford that either. And we went back and forth. So I met him at the Battlefield Bash, and the guy couldn't have been nicer. And I praised him for the boxes that he makes and how perfect they are, the way he builds them, and the way they look and the way they sound. It's just perfect. And he basically said he was going to make me one if I brought him wood from a haunted location. So we were literally around the whole entire mine. Not just in the mine. We were outside the mine. We were turning over garbage cans. I got him walking places he normally wouldn't have gone. I was afraid of the bears. We were in parts where the bears might be. But I found hopefully what is enough wood, but 2 of the pieces are actual like signs from the when it was real old active mine, that like danger area. So that should be really, really cool. So just a matter of breaking them down and sending them to Jeff and then waiting. And I that's like waiting for, like, if you're a kid waiting for the best Christmas present, you want it for forever. When I get that box, forget it. It is a good. The guy is brilliant, and his boxes are worth what he charges for them, for sure. And the fact that he's going to be willing to do that for me,
Yeah.
really, really cool.
Christopher said that you look like a drummer for Volbeat.
Volbeat.
You know who that is?
Do you
I
know
don't. I don't. I'm being honest. I don't.
Anyway, yeah, I can't wait for that, because again, it's to have a spirit box and have a good spirit box, like one of the expensive ones. And again, this guy's, it eliminates everything. The words are so clear that come through it, and he puts so many bells and whistles on it. Like, it just looks cool, you know. Ideally, I'd have one, but like glowing red eyes, like, and like smoke coming out of it. That'd be cool.
What was that commercial? When you said that, it made me think of, what was that commercial where the guy was sitting in the chair and it was like, was it the recording tapes? Was it Maxwell? Memorex. See, there you
Donna
go.
Marion.
Hey, Donna.
We've conjured her. How are you, Donna?
Blows you back. That's what those spirit boxes kind of make me think of. Is like when you turn them on and they just blows you back into the seat. I know, but that's where my brain went. I had to tell you where my brain went. That's where my brain went. I'm just saying.
I mean, you can't make this stuff up. I don't. I have to try to explain it to you. I've run out of ways to do that. Well, whatever. Anyway.
Yeah, Maxwell is the coffee.
Anyway, so like I said, we it's been a while since we've been on, and it's not, you know, it's because we've been busy, and we're gonna get busier, and we're and you know, we're gonna get into doing events next this coming Saturday is John Zaffis at Camp Evans, which watched the Love Tub video, and I need to say no more. But we're super stoked about John coming back and being at Camp Evans again, and you know, so that'll be this Saturday, and that event is completely sold out. Then we have one more week after that we don't have anything, and then after that it's just boom, straight through, just November. And again, we want to get your guys' opinion on this. If you're watching or if you watch the replay, we've been going back and forth with the idea of, we don't know what to call it, but like sort of a New Jersey Paranormal Appreciation Day or whatever, Paranormal Day, whatever you want to call this, in November. The only day we can think of that we don't have anything to do, now we're getting into like the end of the year, is like November, what do we say, 18th?
Yeah, but we don't know if that's going to be viable.
I see how I can't even get anywhere with this. Let's say it is viable.
It is.
And it's not Maxwell, and it's not a commercial from the 1970s where a guy's in a chair. Let's hypothetically say all of that is true, and we can arrange, I mean, geez Louise, give me something.
Look, Curly.
It's like against the current, against the current, against the current. Try it.
I keep you on your dang toes. You need it.
Yeah.
You need it.
Let's hypothetically say November 18th is a possibility.
November 18th.
Even though the negative Nelly next to me says,
I didn't say
we don't know. John is saying probably. Let's say that's possible.
Let's go with that.
And we could do this. We're, again, looking to design an event where people can come during the day if they want, you know, for 2-3 hours. Just come hang out with us, kind of like we did at Burlington Prison, the Barron Arts Center, have a look around, hang out with us for a while. You know, if this is all kind of a New Jersey Paranormal fundraiser thing, because we fundraise for everybody else during the year. And we just opened up a bank account for our 501 finally, and you should see the amount of money we dumped in there that we're going to donate to all these sites that we're doing events
it's
for.
Substantial.
It is very substantial. So we thought a day for us, because, you know, gas is expensive, tolls are expensive, equipment. Satori Hollis is on. Satori knows all about this. Although she's got big time money with
Hey, Carrie.
with their Patreon and everything. They're big time stars. They're not lonely mudsuckers like we are. But
I'm not a mudsucker.
no, you're. I forget. Let's not even get into. I'm a little late the game as usual. Judy, you're right on time.
Perfect timing.
So we were thinking to do an event where we limit it to 10 to 12 people, very small event. That will probably be like $75, $100. And again, it's going to be a fundraiser for us to buy equipment and, do some other stuff. And if you wanted to come during the day, yeah, Nikki, we know you guys will support us. So we appreciate that so much. And anybody else wanted to come during the day and just stop by and get ghost hunting tickets. And, we'll have that guitar box open like they do on the street for the homeless guys that play music. We'll open the guitar box and you could walk by and just throw a $5 in there or a couple of bucks or some change. And we'd appreciate it because, again, it's Satori, you better be careful what you wish for.
Oh, that diner.
Because we went there last week.
Yes.
And it was, well, I can't say it here, but it was young college people central. And you know what that means, Satori.
Ooh,
it was
It
summertime, young
was
college
even
people
worse
central.
than what
I'm trying to be very cryptic about
we all
what
saw,
I'm saying.
Satori. We saw a lot more.
And actually, Nikki, that is that's a good idea. And I thank you for saying that because we will try to work something out now that we have the 501 and we can create Eventbrite links. Maybe that is something like Nikki said for those who can't attend or they're busy that day, they can maybe throw a little something in the guitar box.
And again, the whole idea of the donation and stuff is so that we can invest in more equipment, so that we can keep updating the equipment and expose everybody to more equipment too.
Colette, that's what we're talking about. Nikki just brought up the idea.
She said, how does she donate from England though?
But that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
There may be a link where you could just donate
Click
if you'd be nice enough to do that. The link will look like a guitar box. And you just throw something in there, some coins or something as you're going by.
Oh, my.
That's a really good idea. And I appreciate Nikki for even saying that because I'm thinking in terms of the people that'll be there. Because when we do that at the Burlington prison, it's for the Burlington prison.
Yeah, Teresa's been trying to get us to do this for a long time.
And we had 130 to 200 people show up at the Burlington prison for them as a fundraiser. Yeah, like a Venmo. Yeah, that's again, we wouldn't do this. We haven't done this for how many years? We've been doing this 14 years or more. But now it's to the point where we want to be able to do the investigations with the latest and greatest, coolest equipment. And when we do events, be able to hand people more latest and greatest cool equipment so that they can, Yeah. She's reading comments. So I wish I could do it. Well, Jennifer, you could do a creeper gallery night with us, but Donna Marion doesn't want to do any of those anymore. She's down to one in December. The Ghost of Christmas Past, Donna Marion, if you're watching. The fans the followers want more events there, but the Grinch that Donna Marion has become, she doesn't want to do those nighttime events anymore. So maybe if you guys inundate her with messages.
She's gonna kill you.
Why don't we do that? Let's start a campaign. Let's start a campaign where we just message Donna. Creeper Gallery inbox. Donna Marion, you could friend request her. Just send her a bunch of messages saying more events with New Jersey Paranormal through the year. Maybe that small heart of hers will grow 3 times like the Grinch, and she'll do more events. What do you think, Donna? Will that change things?
Tickets available in November, she said.
That may change things.
She is going to kill him, Nikki. You're right. Teresa asked, "We have a Venmo for New Jersey Paranormal?"
No, we're gonna.
We got to put it together. Yeah.
Which, again, something we just need a bank account. Look, we're old. Okay. So things take time when you're old. Message John. He will let me know. No. John has no sway, no influence on that. It's the people will speak for me, Donna. I'm launching my cult at you. Me and Colette would definitely do the same. Creeper Gallery, see? Paper gallery sounds good. I know it all sounds great, but Donna, I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. Maybe she doesn't like seeing us as much.
It's because I can't hear you.
I love messing with Donna. Donna's like a big sister of mine that I like to.
You don't know sign language,
I
right?
love to poke and prod Donna as much as I can. Anyway, speaking of Donna Marion, her birthday was last week. She turned, was it 42, Donna? 45? Something like that?
27.
So, again, we need to do something. We didn't forget your birthday, Donna. We did not forget your birthday. You know we love you. You know we're going to do something for your birthday. Just we're old. We're very old. We're very busy. But we didn't forget you. We wouldn't forget you.
I think we should go up Sunday and have, take her out. What do you think? If she's up for that.
I mean, we could do it. She don't want us there. You saw. Only for the auctions when she makes all that big money. That's the only time she wants us there now. That's the only time she wants us with her. Right, Donna? That's not true. Anyway, Donna's got some cool new items, by the way. I did see a couple of pictures of things that I am really, really interested in. And we were out picking today. We went to a couple of antique places. And I walked into one particular area again where my head started hurting and I got that weird taste in my mouth. And I kept trying to find what the heck it was that was doing it, but there was so much stuff there. More coming this week, even better. But I couldn't find it. But I forget who we were talking to. We did an interview for some newspaper in South Jersey.
Yep.
Last week.
Yep.
Or was it this week?
This week.
This past week.
This week, yeah.
And we were talking about haunted objects, and the Creeper Gallery came up, and she was really, really interested in the theories behind all of that and how an object could have.
It was a good interview. It was a really good interview.
And we got really deep into it, and it was really cool because even last night we were with other people who were investigating the mine, but they asked us to come on in and join them, and other people have other styles, and when it's not us doing what we do, we try to follow. We see what everybody else does. We try to follow their lead because we don't want to. What's the word? Impinge? Is that the word? Embroach.
Yeah, broach on there.
Yeah, on their
infringe.
Yeah, on their methods or theories or how they do things. So we kind of followed along, and it, like I said, it's always different to investigate with different people and see what they do, how they do it, and we've been doing this so long. It's so different for us. I could go right now, and I've done it. I was literally going to say I could go in my car and investigate, but I've done it.
Oh, we have.
For you people who haven't been following us that long or as long, during COVID, right? I had an object. I'll tell you you may have heard the story, maybe you didn't. Somebody had sent me a haunted doll. They didn't want it anymore. Stuff was going on in their house. They wanted it out. So they sent it to me. Now, she's got a cat with issues. BB is the cat's name, BB. And BB can be lovable.
Brain damage. It's very serious.
Yes. BB can be lovable in the morning, very sweet and kind. But then you got to watch. Every now and then you try to pet her.
She has her own private room.
So I bring this box in not knowing it was the haunted doll. I just saw an address. I saw my name on it. I open it up and I go to take it out and in comes BB. And the eyes are like sharks, black. And the tail is all fluffed out. And I'm like, what are you doing? And I didn't even put two and two together at first. I had the box in my hand. And I take the baby out and that weird noise that cats made. And she jumped up at me like she was trying to get me. And I'm backing up with the doll in my hand. I'm like, what are you doing? And then I looked at the doll like, this is what's making her do it. So I threw the doll on top of a dresser. And she wouldn't stop. She kept trying to get me and get near the doll. So I had to take a blanket. That's the only thing she's afraid of. And I had to scurry her out of the room. and go. And I ran outside, and Chris was out there in her SUV, and I'm like, "Your effing cat is trying to kill me." But it was that doll. I couldn't. I had to take that doll, put it in my car. I had to get it completely away from her. So we couldn't figure out, because we didn't want to bring the doll back in here. She doesn't like haunted objects being here. So where were we going to investigate this doll? And it was during COVID. So I thought, I have a car.
Hatchback.
So we go into the Kia Soul, no pun intended, and we investigate this doll. We stream it from the car. I kid you not. Hence the name, the Kia Soul Studio, which I now have a bumper sticker that somebody made me. I can't remember who made that.
Mark did.
Mark did?
Mark did.
Carrada?
Yeah.
And I actually, and that wasn't, I did it, tried to do it one more time with something else, and it just didn't work out. But yes, I was actually crazy enough to investigate.
And you had to take the doll from the back of the car because your thing popped up when you were driving. Remember that? Your latch came undone. The back of your thing opened up when you were driving?
No.
Or was that something else you were carrying in the back? Yeah. That you had haunted items because I wouldn't let you bring them in here and you were carrying them in that car. Yeah, John's driving down the road and you're taking all of the haunted. I think that was
the very first one we did when we ordered all the items off of different.
Yeah, just do a test to see if they really. Yeah, to see if they were really haunted.
My trunk opened.
Nothing wrong with his trunk. Never.
But that was before we ever even met Donna or touched any haunted objects whatsoever. I wanted to do a cable access show. I was looking for ideas. So I'd seen this one person. I won't even mention who they are. They're on this one site. Good evening, everyone. Selling, they sell haunted dolls. Like, they have 1 million of them. And the vessel attached to this doll. And they have a story for each one, which is all horse shit. But anyway, I saw that and I was like, boy, eBay, they were selling on this site and that site. And I was like, I wonder if any of these things really. So I ordered them from everywhere but that person. I got them from here, this site, that site, that site. And I got about 6 of them. And we investigated every one of them at the Paranormal Center and filmed it. And we got stuff out of, I think, 3 or 4 of the 6, which was surprising, very surprising.
Yeah.
And then we did the cable access show where Jane Doherty actually read each one of them, and she the same 4 she picked up on stuff without knowing anything about it. But in between doing all that, they were kept in my trunk of my car, and I'm literally driving one day, and I heard that like something weird, and I turned around and looked at my rearview mirror, and my trunk was up.
First time for everything.
That was so funny, man, but it was so cool. I was like, oh man, this is like the coolest thing that ever happened. And,
did you think that was cool, or did it kind of like freak you out?
It freaked me out a little bit.
Yeah.
I wondered which one it was.
Which one was it? Oh, and the one there that made that burning where the fire and then we found out it was that. We found out what that was.
Was it an angel?
Yes, it was an angel, and it was burnt. It was singed. It was in a fire, and it belonged to that little girl that died. So yeah, that was, and you actually smelled in it from the trunk. Think about this: something in the trunk is in a sealed bag.
My car smelled like smoke.
His whole entire car just filled, and he was talking to me while he was driving back.
That's what I went to Donna with.
Yep, and he was gagging and and just like he couldn't breathe. He couldn't breathe at all.
That's when I kind of first met her and started.
Yeah.
Kind of, and I'm like, you want this? You take it. Sell it. And she was like, yeah, and she did.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
That thing really freaked me out. My first experience really with any kind of thing like that, and I was hooked ever since.
Yeah, I know.
I am. I love it. But we'll probably go back there maybe Tuesday, back to the Creeper Gallery again, and see what we see. I don't remember how old, but the doll was pretty. I'll tell you the story of the doll.
It's a Centennial doll, wasn't it?
I'll tell you the story of the doll, kind of like the attachment story, because that's the reason I picked these items too. They're all dolls, but each one had a different story about what happened to the owner of the doll. And that one in particular it belonged to a little girl. There was a fire. She died in the fire. I still remember. And her father couldn't get over it, severely depressed. Yeah. And he kept that doll until one day where he decided he didn't want it anymore. And he sold it to whoever this person was that was selling haunted things. And that's where I got it. So that was the story. And one of the claims was that you did, and whenever I handled it, I felt like I don't smoke. I tried cigarettes when I was young. And I freaking hated them. Weed, no, weed's something a little different. I did smoke weed when I was young, lots of it.
I never did.
Lots of it. Not since I was 25 have I touched any of that stuff. Edibles, that's it. Weed, no. But but if you're a
Too
non-smoker,
much information.
yeah. But if you're not non-smoker and you try to smoke, anybody who knows what that feels like, it burns your lungs, and you just all you do is cough. That's what this doll made me feel every time I touched it. Every time. And that's how it started dawning on me, like, crap, maybe this haunted
or something to it.
Object stuff is real, you know? Yeah. And everybody knows I love John Zaffis. And I watched Haunted Collector. I probably watched every episode of that show. And I drove all the way to Gettysburg to meet him. He was doing like a book signing thing. And I drove 3 hours one way to just see him, meet him for like 5 minutes, talk to him, and then I drove back home. But that's kind of my interest in haunted objects. I didn't really get into the whole Warren thing and Annabelle and the whole, you know, even though I knew John was the nephew, I really didn't really, you know.
It wasn't on your radar.
No, I didn't research it all that much or know any. I knew the story of Annabelle, but not much anything else.
Yeah.
But again, it was that, and then meeting Donna and becoming involved with the Creeper Gallery that really, you know, and now people will like, when they reach out to us, especially like the place in Clark, they're like, we have a room full of artifacts and stuff is happening. And I'm like, they're like, do you think? I'm like, yeah, I think.
Hi, Dana.
Any one of those could have somebody attached or connected to them. You know, you've got 30, 50 things, pictures of people that died tragically, drowning, gunshot, and here we are. Now things are happening, you know?
Yeah.
We were actually looking at I probably should have told Don about this one too, a photo album that belonged to a reverend, and his whole family like was involved with the church. You know, that was kind of weird. The cat story, yeah, the cat story never gets old because that cat, I do. I don't know if it's stone tape. I don't. Stone tape is more of an imprint that is on something, but I believe it's not just I believe it's actually either the energy that was part of the person is attached to it, or you can channel them in. Just like if you were doing a seance or something. I do believe that if you have an object and you're talking about someone.
Like picking up a telephone.
I believe it's the same with a building. I believe that if you're in a building, that spirit may not necessarily reside there all the time or be trapped there. I do believe that you can channel them in as well if you're standing in their old bedroom and you're openly saying, hey, Margaret, you know, this was you built this house and you slept in this room until your death. You know, you could channel them in.
Do you remember what we investigated at the Creeper Gallery Tuesday?
Me?
Yeah.
I remember with the wood. That's what I remember. The cemetery wood, which I don't remember getting anything off of.
The hair of the little girl?
Yeah, that was sad.
And what else
was the book.
The book. Yeah.
That book was very, very surprising.
Yes.
I do have to say that. We had seen that book many, many times when we were there. And
I don't think you must have seen it, but I don't ever remember taking it
I think Donna showed it to me when she first got it.
Maybe that's why.
Because I remember the kind of rope.
The binding. I don't. That book didn't ring a bell or anything. It was like when you pointed it out, it was the first time it was even on my radar.
But I remember that. I remember seeing that because this is where I saw it. The new Bible is showing.
Oh, of course, the new Bible.
The religious one. I told you, religious stuff freaks me out. But that book, we both kind of looked at each other and we were like, we didn't know what was in it. And we started thumbing through it and we were like, okay, this was, like Chris said, this was sort of a memorial to her mom. You didn't get to really, I don't know how much of that you could see, but there were a lot of pictures of her mom in there in various
and
stages.
poems that she wrote for her mom.
Yeah, really
in her own
nice.
handwriting and stuff.
Heartfelt.
It was. I don't have a book with poems and pictures and sympathy cards. I actually have a case in her old room, and her favorite pin is in this shadow box. Cards that she wrote to me, certain specialty cards that were very unique, that where she was saying something very heartfelt to me. I think I have a couple of her job IDs that are in the shadow box of these places that she liked working. Things that were very unique to her that are in this shadow box that means an awful lot to me. So I think getting that information out of that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, I mean, the sympathy cards were in there, the Western Union that were sent from other people to her, offering their condolences about her mom. All of that was in there. So again, that type of energy, there really could be somebody that, again, you could kind of either bring in or that could be connected to that book, because it so much love,
went
respect,
into it,
and energy went into making
and
that
she was
the way
well
it
respected
was.
there. So Tim actually said something really. I'm sorry, my brain is.
Oh, I'm sorry too, but you start so I can cut you off this time.
Okay, you can do that.
Yeah.
Tim said I was.
So what we were talking about yesterday. How's it feel?
Tim said I've always wondered about this. If someone experienced a ghost.
You're reading it from there when it's right. That's why we have the big screen.
Because I was just trying to make sure I got the name. Because I couldn't see the name. Experienced a ghost, especially of a loved one. Does that mean that their spirit is not at rest? So there's something. The reason why that resonated, that question, was because I actually talked to my nephew that's over in China, and he had a very unique connection with my daughter that passed, and he wanted to ask questions, and he wasn't sure if it was pertinent to ask without hurting me more because of my loss and stuff. And I said, no, actually, I'm tickled that you want to talk about this and be open about it. I think that's important. So he keeps having a reoccurring, what he calls a dream, because he doesn't know what he believes on the spectrum of a lot of stuff. So he wanted to know. He goes, she keeps coming to me, and she's always eating, and she's always got her hair up in a ponytail. He goes, and she looks happy. And he goes, is it my subconscious bringing her to my mind and making me have these dreams to make me feel better because I miss her so much and I'm subconsciously doing it myself? Or is it her? And I said, well, one, she always put her hair up into a ponytail when she was comfortable and she was relaxed. And two, she had an eating disorder. So if she ate anything, she'd punish herself after for eating. Somehow, some way, she would do something. So
get rid of that one.
I can't. There it is. Is it right there? So I actually had said that to for him to know, and he goes, well, that makes sense now to me. And he goes, so now it makes me think that I actually got a visitation from her because I was missing her so much, so heavily, and I felt so down that I went to bed and had these dreams. Each time that these dreams came was when I was feeling really low about missing her. And he goes, so I now think that maybe that brought her in to make me feel better, that she was in a good place. So I think they come and visit, even if they're at peace, to help us. That's what I think.
All these spirits, these objects you investigate, I would release them from that pain and leave them to God. Do you feel this way that you want to help them? There's a lot of different theories. Again, thoughts around something like that. Again, I'll bring up something. When I was listening back to what Jason Hawes was saying about mediums and sensitives, and we were talking about whether a living person, even a medium, is capable of crossing someone over, like making them cross over. And he said what I completely agree with. I don't think any living person has the ability to cross a spirit over if they don't want to. If they if it's their they decide they're ready, and it's just like us as free will, that they will do that. But I believe that we as investigators and sensitives or mediums, whatever, yes, we can try to influence them and say, just as we would a person in need, can we do anything to help you? Is there anything we could do? Is there anything we didn't ask you? Is there something we could do to help you? That's something we always do because, yes, we would do all that we could. And in a lot of cases, it is not the stuck to it. You know what I mean? Where you're talking about they're trapped on the object or with the object. They're forced. They're stuck. They won't move on. In a lot of the cases, I believe it either is by choice because the object meant something to them and their family in life, and they're around it or connected to it, um, or we are channeling them in. But I don't believe us or a medium or anyone could say, here's something we could do to make you force you to go wherever it is. If you think we go somewhere, if it's God or to heaven or to wherever, I don't think there's anything we or anybody else could do to do that, other than, like I said, just like with the living, we were just talking about private cases with someone, and I can't remember who this was that we were talking with. Oh, it was the interview. Again, same person with the interview. And again, she was referencing a lot of the TV stuff. Not to say that the TV people do it wrong or it's just a different world. And I must have said this to her 100 times during the interview. What we do on quote unquote ghost hunts or paranormal events is completely different than what we do when we go into someone's home. Night, day, night, day. Totally different. You're talking about in the private sector, for lack of a better term, we're trying to help people who are dealing with an issue. These aren't people that know they're living with spirits and they're comfortable with it and they're coexisting, saying, right. I know you're here. Not their world. How you doing? Good morning, Michelle. Good night, Michelle. I know this was your home. No problem. Maybe they hear something or see something or smell something. These are people who are concerned that something is happening that is beyond their control and their understanding. In that case, and I'm making a connection here, we have to do our best to try to validate it as whatever it is their experience, but also resolve that in any way, shape, or form that we can. Even if we catch zero evidence of paranormal activity, nothing, even if we went there 3, 4, 5 times, found nothing, we could tell them what we think was causing all of the issues that they were experiencing. But a big part of that whole entire process is counseling them. Yep. On what our experience is, what our beliefs are, using whatever their beliefs are to help them, and also trying to explain how best for them to deal with the situation, whether it's something or nothing. They're people. And it's the same with those who have crossed over. Whoever we're dealing with that's attached to this object here, and whatever happened to them, we're going to treat them with respect. We're going to ask their name. We're going to ask about their lives. And we're going to say, is there anything else that we didn't ask that we could help you with? Is there anything that we could do for you? And then beyond that, whatever the answers are, of course, we would take it further if someone was in dire need. Help, I was murdered. Help, I'm in pain. Help, But again, there's only so much we could do, even if we brought in others or tried ourselves to counsel that person. At the end of the day, it is whatever we could do to convince them that that's all behind them. There is a better place, like the afterlife, where hopefully they will be reunited and things are better, and that they should definitely move on from the pain not about that, right? And the existence that they've been experiencing leading up to where they are now.
Well, I'm trying to get in word. But sometimes it's not about moving something on. Sometimes it's where people actually want to coexist with, and they're once they realize that they misinterpret. Let's be honest. it's scary. You're a child or a person who's never dealt with the paranormal. This isn't your everyday, thing, and things are happening and they're terrifying. Things move, you hear voices, you're being touched. That's intimidating and scary when you don't know what is doing this. So, and sometimes we misinterpret things as something that's frightful and scary when it's actually something that's not. It's actually sometimes we've gone into private homes and they'll say, you know what? Now that I know what it is, I am so okay that it's here. And we're going to say good morning, good night. And we've even got people who actually leave a special spot open for who's at the house that they're at. So again, it's I think that's a big factor too.
Well, who were we talking to where they were basically saying they were living in a house where their grandmother lived or something like that, and that they were making changes. They changed the whole entire house.
It was their neighbor that was doing it.
And they removed a picture of this woman and something else of hers from one particular corner. And when they did that, things started going nuts. So somebody advised them, rightfully so, hey, she's a little ticked off. You might want to at least show her the respect of, if it's not too big of a deal, put the picture back. Or
put it in the chair.
And they did. And
it stopped.
Yeah.
So they had a picture of her that they kept taking down, and they get up in the morning and be up, and there would be her rocking chair that she had in a favorite spot that they kept putting away. That when they get up in the morning would be back where it was. So that right there lets you know.
Yeah, we would all hate the idea of being spirits, people that have passed, being trapped. I mean, when we think in terms of, even think of, the mental asylums, that they were treated so horribly, and their lives were just misery and abuse. Who wouldn't hate to think that that's where they're going to spend eternity as well?
God, I hope not.
That, in situations like that, it really is hard to wrap your brain around how it works, the big picture. And we talk about this a whole lot, because that's what this is all about. This is all about, we can only offer you advice, guidance on what we've experienced and what we've dealt with, but there's so much more. And again, big picture, this is what takes me back to, people talk all the time about this guy. I don't particularly care for him either. And I talked about this before. His name is Steve Huff. And he will literally do a spirit box session. Those people that were in that Titan sub that imploded, he literally did a spirit box session that night, trying to reach out to them and connect with them. Now, a lot of people in the field, including me, said that is really distasteful, disrespectful to the family, to the people that passed, to their loved ones, to their friends. Yeah, but in theory, there's that word again. Yeah. In theory, if time is irrelevant in the afterlife, which people say it is, there is no difference between trying to communicate with a spirit who was passed a minute ago or 100 years ago. In theory. But there is a moral obligation to just be human about these things. You don't go to a site of a car crash yesterday where there was 2 fatalities with your meters and your recorder going, hi, is anybody here? You just don't do that. But in theory, someone who does that is no different than someone who goes into a building that's 100 years old where people were murdered with an axe.
But I go back to
But you know what I'm saying? These people were slaughtered by an axe murderer. Yeah. There really is no difference except for time.
But I am going to try to be like, it doesn't mean that I agree, because it's something I wouldn't do personally. It's not my thing. I'm horrified too. And if anybody did it with someone, if my daughter just passed and somebody said, hey, let's do a session, me too. I'd probably lose it on you.
Me too.
And I'm pretty contained, but I'd lose it. But we have to go back to, and again, devil's advocate, this is all this is. Back in the day, when they didn't have where you had Godivers, and you could use the bodies and cut them up and the bodies donated for science and stuff. Mm-hmm. They literally went and dug bodies up, and they secretly would do experiments and stuff, and they were considered very morbid and considered very out of the fringe and sickos, and even though they were in the medical field, they weren't approved of. It was against the whole thing. And if they hadn't have done what they did, they're the ones that pushed the needle that actually advanced us to where we are today as far as medically and about the human body and the study. Because the drawing of the heart and stuff, obviously, in order to find out how the heart worked and how it did, somebody had to cut somebody open and do that, you know, in different.
And that guy was called the ghoul and a monster.
Yeah, and they were,
savage,
and they were, and he, I mean, and he wasn't accepted back in the day when they did this. So, as devil's advocate, what we find distasteful and we wouldn't do, there's someone else that will do it.
And that's correct. You're right. And we won't know those answers. We're not meant to. Honestly, I believe that with all of my heart, that I go back and watch the old interviews and I make these reels off of them. And I posed a question to Adam Berry. And this is how this brain works. If I woke up to be a medium tomorrow, I would lock myself in a room for 2 weeks at least and try to communicate with any spirit that I could communicate with to try to find all the answers that every one of us are looking for. I know myself. I would keep journals and I would do that with whoever would come through. And I know they say mediums just get images and stuff and they kind of interpret. I would try to do that though, as it applied to the afterlife. I would basically sit and go, anybody who's listening to me that could give me answers, show me images, and I would take notes to try to get those answers. But I really don't believe we're meant to meant to understand.
Not until later. Celine, I'm so sorry. I had no idea that your nephew passed away.
I'm sorry, Celine. Sorry for your loss. You and your family. Our condolences to all of you. Luann had mentioned, not Luann, Laura, I think, mentioned the story about someone who died in a car accident, and the daughter said that she was visited by her father.
5-year-old.
Yeah, 5 years old. And 2 weeks later. But one of the coolest things I've ever heard was on a podcast. And this week in Gettysburg was, oh, good, George. That's how it all starts, George. Once we started in Gettysburg as well. Once you get that first taste, you're hooked. But this was, again, I've said this before, and I believe it 100% with all my heart, that this was an interview with an MIT scientist, brilliant guy. And the question of the afterlife and spirits and all that came up, scientifically speaking. And the interviewer was kind of, no such thing, blah, 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 science, it's been debunked, no one's ever to prove. And the guy from MIT basically said, and this was a younger guy, he basically said, you know what my beliefs are as a scientist? Maybe we're not meant to understand. Maybe we're not capable as living beings of understanding whatever it is we're going to understand when we transition. Maybe the afterlife, it's almost like AI being smarter. AI will be smarter than us in a blink once it finally becomes true AI. Maybe the afterlife is sort of that. We transition, we become higher beings, and we tap into whatever the great unknown is, all of that energy, all of those frequencies, another dimension. And he said maybe the afterlife for the living is like giving an ant a cell phone and saying, make a call. The ant will never be able to do that because they're not capable of it. Maybe we're not capable of it as the living until we're meant to. Maybe there is some master plan. Who knows? Nobody knows.
That's why we're having these discussions all the time. If we had the answers, this would be interesting. That's for sure.
I go way too deep down those rabbit holes where I have to pull myself out of them because as you get older, those questions, they were in the peripheral when you're younger, but when you get older, man, those things get, that's why it's so uncomfortable. I'll be honest. I'm uncomfortable in cemeteries. I am. I'm uncomfortable being near cemeteries.
Is that something new?
Being uncomfortable? Yeah. And I got to tell you, um, where I walk Walter, Chris knows, it's Rawley Park. It's a big park. It goes all the way around. There's ponds. There's a lake. There's a pond. But when you go around the back side of the pond, Rawley Cemetery is right there. You look to your right. There's a beautiful stream, lake, and you look up, and there's the stones. They're all right there. And all I can think about in my morbid brain is, boy, at 55 with my birthday coming up in 2 months, I'm a lot closer to that than I am that over there. The kids playing and having a good time at the barbecue and all that. I'm and it bothers me. It's bothered me more. I don't like being in cemeteries as I get older.
You want it for me? When I was younger, I was very definitive in what I believed. 100% definitive. And nothing swayed me from what I believe to be my perspective of what would be. And as I've gotten older, man, I question that. I question everything that I thought, and everything was my. Oh, on a serious note, crazy man.
Oh, were you interrupted? I'm so sorry.
No,
go ahead.
No, just what you said. I'm with the paranormal savior. I really question like what I believe, and like I believed 100% that when I passed, I was going to go to a better place, and God and all of that. And now I'm like, wait a minute, could it be that it's like when you go to sleep and you just don't, you just don't wake up and you don't remember anything, and it's just like that's it, lights out. It's just like everything changed. I question. I still have my faith. I'm not religious, but I'm still very faithful. And I believe in that, and I believe that faith is how you treat other people too. What makes you a good person is how you treat other people, how you want to be treated. I believe that. That's part of your core. I believe in that. That's just me. But I do question. I question the religious aspect to the actual aspect of it.
No, Laura, I agree with you, but kids do pass all the time. It's a shame and it happens. But again, older people do. As you get older, the more likely that you're on the back nine. But I, again, personally, and this is very personal, I don't like cemeteries. I don't like going in them because I don't look at them as the final resting place. I don't look at it that way. I look at it as a dead end road, literally. I look at it as there's our mortality slapping me right in the face.
That's the reality.
Right there. Those stones
it's very personal.
with those names are people that were here like me, living their lives every day, eating their cereal in the morning, having their pizza at night. And now their time has come and gone. That's how I look at a cemetery. And I know it's not normal or not right, but that's how I look at it.
George had asked you before, and again, you had talked to John Zaffis about this, was that if you go to some place that George did
I'm talking about Don and I talked about that.
Over and over and over again, did the spirits get tired of people visiting there?
Yes, you've heard what John said.
No, you guys had that discussion, so I'll let you. I did, but basically, John Zaffis believes that by communicating and stuff, you're opening up, for lack of a better word, a portal of where things will come in for you to communicate with.
Yeah, John was basically saying that you're fueling. You're not actually taking away by going in there week after week after day and doing that. You're not kind of bored, making the spirits bored or tired of people. You're actually fueling whatever energy and whatever, like she said, the portal that they need to exist within that space.
And that's the other thing.
I agree, kind of the opposite of that.
But here's the kicker too. We're always putting the spotlight on things from our perspective, how we view, what we think. So if someone's asking us the question over and over again, and more people are asking that question, we're people that get frustrated. We're people that get impatient. We're people that they're dialed in with emotions, aggravate, tick, 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 tick. We have human qualities. What's on the other side may not have those qualities. What you know, like, so we're putting, what do they call it, we're projecting onto, and I think that's one of the things when we're asking questions, sometimes we're projecting how we feel and what we would feel and how we feel about stuff.
Colette, my mom always said to me from the time I was that big, when it's your time, you're going to go. And again, that made sense to me because I wasn't someone who passed at 5, 7, 9, 12. I was getting older and living my life. But that makes no sense at all when you're a 4-year-old child who dies of cancer. Sorry, it doesn't. You know, for me. Yeah. I did see another comment that was, I want to get to the Donna. Tim, I'll answer your question. But Donna brought up a pretty good point. Again, I don't want to drag everyone down talking about death and morbid stuff. But one more thing about death and morbid stuff. I saw this, Robert Downey Jr., Iron Man, you know, the actor. I was watching a documentary. He did a really cool documentary about his father, and his father passes during the making of the documentary. And it's just an homage to his father and his father's career, and how funny his father was in the movies his father made. And Robert Downey Jr., who's now older, of course, he said, if you think in terms of your life of, you know, 55, he's however old he is, 58, whatever, how many summers do you actually have left? How many? I mean, if you're 55, is it 20? Is it 25? Is it 30?
Is it 2?
How many summers, if you look at your life in terms of that, like, wow, how many summers have come before that we've all taken for granted? As, you know, being a kid, summers are forever. And as you get older, you work, and those summers go by in a blink. Yeah. And how many summers then you really have perspective of, eesh, you know what I mean? Of course, you can't live your life that way. You've got to live, life is for the living. You know, enjoy every minute of it. After COVID, we all should have learned that.
But value it.
This was, Tim says, I'm trying to read on the big screen here. Ghosts, Bigfoot, cryptids, different dimensions, especially with what the government has shown us recently. Do you think that all of this could be related? Could be. Again, we're talking theory. Anything is possible. I don't understand. This planet alone, the Big Bang Theory, if you believe in evolution, you know, everything started from kind of nothing, cells, you know, organisms. But how did they start? Was one cosmic God? Did he create the universe? I don't want to get bogged down in religion, but I'm saying anything is possible, I guess. I'm not a big believer in Bigfoot, just me. Aliens, I think you're crazy if you don't believe that there's life
something
on
more than us.
Other planet and that they could be more advanced than we are. I mean, come on. Look at the life on this planet. You're going to tell me that we exist in a bubble in the vastness of the universe? But Bigfoot and stuff. But yeah, I agree. Anything is possible. And could it all be connected in some weird cosmic thing? Sure. I mean, who knows? Really, who knows? We don't.
That's what's fun about this. None of us know.
I'd love the idea of getting to wherever we go next and seeing Bigfoot staring dinosaurs. It would be like an alien. It would be the weirdest thing to be like, are you kidding me with this? Look at this. Like, everything is here.
John would be in heaven if he could walk by
Loch Ness Monster. Yeah. I would love that. Are you kidding me? But again, that's just me. But I know we got a little weird tonight. We got a little deep tonight, but that's what happens when we're not live for 5 or 6 days in a row. All this stuff builds, and we take out the weirdest of the weird, and we go with it. Just did it again.
I did. Intentional.
Literally. Just
intentional.
Did it again.
Yes.
Is it live or is it Maxwell?
I don't know. Give me a cup of coffee. I'll tell you.
It's
Maxim. I got you.
No, Tim. Again, this is what we tell everyone. I would never tell anybody they're wrong about anything or any theory or any idea or any belief that they have. demons. I don't believe in demons whatsoever. I don't. I don't believe in angels. I don't.
I do.
But would I ever say to anyone that you're wrong, that demons don't exist? No, because I really don't know. I'm just telling you my belief.
Right, because you haven't experienced
No,
like
I really don't know. But I'm telling you my opinion is no. But they could. So could leprechauns and
I've never experienced that.
And there were other things.
I can't talk
I've
on
never
that.
seen them.
I don't know.
Maybe they're
I
out
haven't found the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, so yeah.
Anyway, we'll be back Tuesday from the Creeper Gallery live, 8 p.m. Eastern time. I did see some new stuff that I'm looking forward to investigating. Donnie, you got to get more dark stuff. We're getting bogged down in the sweet mom with the great story. I need some meat. I need some meat on the bone. You know what I'm saying?
Get some rest.
You know what I'm saying? Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. The November idea, again, we're kicking that around. No matter what this one says about it, may possibly be November 18th, and we'll figure it out. And again, we'd appreciate your support if we do it, because it just keeps us going, and let's just do more and more and more. But thanks for watching. Have a good night. Sorry we took so long to get back on, but
that's what we do.
From now on, I will ignore Chris trying to trick me, and I will be here for you.
Interrupter, trickster. I don't know my Maxwell from my Maximum.
Hey, that's why you have me. You have me here on tap.
So have a good night. Stay safe. Please stay safe and be kind to your fellow man. Good night.
Or woman.